then we all started playing, and then we went to different churches, the Spanish churches over there in the eastern part of Michigan, Adrian, Emily City, Lapeer, Detroit. We were all small, but we all learned how to play, you know. Of course, I got a couple other brothers, but in all this, it comes from I married, my brother and myself married Christian ladies or girls at that time, you know. They were for the Lord all the time. And myself, they came from a culture, I believe is a culture with deep Baptist knowledge and fundamental, and they were really good in there. But me and my brother was a different culture. We were Mexicans, but a different culture. We didn't have the education they had. You know, it was, my dad, the word love was never meant in our house. There wasn't used at all. So I didn't know the word love until I got married, you know. That's the word I know, and I never used it. My wife finds it, you're out. You got to tell your kids, love them. I said, I can't say that. I feel bad. To me, that was a bad word for a man to say to somebody, you know, and I couldn't say it. Finally, the last 4 or 5 years, I started using it. You just think how long it took me to do it, you know. But it doesn't feel bad, but that's the way. But then in that time, as we go down along, you know, I do have other brothers can play. Right now, I got one in Indiana. He won't be around too long. I got one in Veterans Hospital. He won't be around too long, you know. But we had a large family, okay. But the problem is that as you grow along, you find a wife that supports you, and you work together. That makes a lot of difference sometimes, you know. I always, the word says, do not yoke with unbelievers, you know. And that's very important in our life to do that, you know. But and what I'm trying to get into it now to understand, no matter how much you bring the kids in the Word of God, you know, it doesn't matter. Because I brought my kids, and to my sons, I would say to them, you know, if they were here, I won't be ashamed. My oldest son, he wanted to go, he joined the Marine in 16 years. And the reason was, according to him, he said, I go to church on Sunday morning, I go to church on Sunday night, I go to church on Wednesday, I go to church for all the meetings, I'm just tired. He said, I'm going to go to Marine Corps anyway, because I can't take my discipline, your discipline is hard, I can take the Marine Corps anytime. Which I wasn't. I use a belt, you know. The Mexican. And, but because in this case, I'm going to tell you a story. When me and my brother went to church, we were small, probably like about 6, 7 years old. We used to talk with each other. And my dad, we always went to church, but we talked too much. And my dad said, point ahead. And then he would belt us. You would belt us like, you know, the Mexican way. And he was courteous. He said, all right, who's between my brother, who's first? My brother didn't answer, I pushed him over. Then he used to tell me, why? He said, why do you push me? I said, well, I figured by the time you get done with us, you'll be tired. I said, you're tough. I said, you know what I do? After the 4 swats, I start crying like he's beating me up, and he'll stop me after 2 more. He said, you don't do it. But I guess, you know, that happened, you know. But that's what. And then Rudy was, he was a real problem. He was a real problem. He was a real problem that, the funny thing about him, he thought the same thing my older son did. And then the funny thing about him, he wanted to go to the service. He went to the Navy, Marines, there was another one, and then the Army. And he was rejected. And then he said, I got to go in. He tried hard. So he had to take tests. He passed 3 tests. He missed 2 tests he didn't pass. Finally, he went somebody help him out. And finally he made it. And then when he gave it over there, I don't know what happened because Ralphie said, you know, Dad, Ralphie's not in the Army. I said, what do you mean? He went to the National Guard, I guess what it was. He went to the National Guard, but he said, he's home. He should be. He said, what happened? He must be. He said, I don't like it. He said, I don't like it. I don't believe it. I think they'll come after him. He probably tell you a story. But regardless, Rudy, he got his gift. I never seen a guy so gifted in my life. Because he told me one time, you know, he got to a church and he said, he called it church, they said, well, you're traditional. He said, you're not contemporary and all that. He said, anything you guys want to, I can play for you. Contemporary, you want a little rock, I can do it. The other one, don't worry about it. Anything you guys want, I just want to go in there, give my testimony, and maybe somebody will be saved through my testimony. And that's his courage. So he knew that he had about 50, I don't know what he does it. He told me he got 50 songs all memorized. So sometimes he said, I have to change it. All depends on the situation on that. What kind of people I hear that. I have to change my whole system, you know. But he's gifted. And but to all of us, it takes a lot of discipline to get kids. And I hope when I'm gone, they continue as a group to have not every Sunday, but at least. But you know, when you build the word in them, you'll go. But what I'm getting at is they left, and they finally came back in prayer. And prayer is powerful. And I'm glad that they're all serving the Lord. You might drift away, but if you're calling, like my son called me yesterday, and I said, I want you to do one thing for me. I said, you go to church and you read the Bible. You've got to do that. If you don't, you're going to drift away. And that's the purpose. I want you guys, because I know it's hard in my life. Because, brothers, I have worked a lot of places all my life since 51. And a lot of these guys do a lot of cussing, a lot of rejecting of God, and I have to work with these people. And I told my daughter one time, what kind of people you work with? Because I work with bad people. And every word that they got, I said, I can repeat it, their words in English, Spanish, but you know what? As far as I know, the only word that I have used is Hades. I'm not going to say it the other side, but Hades, and I don't have to use these words. So anybody that swears, he wants to swear. It's because he wants to, because you don't have to do that, you know. And that's what I'm trying to say, that our testimony, and I see God's power, and I believe in Him, and I know we're going to see all of us right here, the believers, with the Lord, you know. We got to face it, because I can say it when I was 17 years old, or 15, you know, I never thought I'd get to this age. I really never thought. And here I am passing the age, but I thank you for the little moments I had to talk with you. All this